And a good day to everybody. Can you believe it's the first day of September already? How about that? Sunday, first day of September, 2019. I'm Jewel. This is the J7409 Tropical Update. Thank you so much for joining me. Please subscribe and click the bell if you want to know what's going on with all the weather systems, watches, warnings, forecasts throughout the year. And now, of course, this time of the year is hurricane season, and my oh my, look what is going on. Dorian now is a Category 5. A Category 5. The winds are 160 miles per hour. The minimum central pressure is 927 millibars. Right now it's located at 26.5 north, 76.5 west, still moving west at around 8 miles per hour. 1, 2, 3, where shall we start? Let's start over in the Gulf. This is disturbance number 2. It's a broad area of low pressure. It's over the south central Gulf of Mexico right now, and it is producing some limited disorganized shower activity. And there is a chance of maybe some gradual development of this system during the next few days while it moves slowly westward across the southern and southwestern Gulf of Mexico towards the Gulf of Mexico coast. It's going to go to the coast of Mexico, folks. In 2 days, it's low at 25 days, still low at 30%. Then we have this disturbance right here. As you can see, this is number 3 that's just popped up. It's an area of disturbed weather, and it's about several hundred miles southeast of Bermuda. Man, we're getting it off. It's going to keep getting off the coast of NC, all this stuff. Seems like there is a little gradual development of this system. It's possible during the next few days, while it moves slowly northward or north-northwestward. Now, in 2 days, it's nothing. In 5 days, it's 20%. And here is the storm I've been telling all my friends out in this area as well. It could go in the Gulf, it could go up here, and it may go north and go out, but this is disturbance number 1. Now, it's a broad area of low pressure. Now, it's associated with a tropical wave, and it's located just south of the Cabo Verde Islands, and it's become better organized since yesterday. And environmental conditions appear very conducive for additional development during the next several days. Now, a tropical depression is likely to form by the middle of the week, while the system moves generally northwestward across the eastern tropical Atlantic Ocean. Now, heavy rainfall is possible over portions of the southern Cabo Verde Islands during the next couple of days, and all interest on those islands should monitor the progress of the system. 2 days, it's got a 50% chance of forming. 5 days, it has a 70% chance of forming. Now back to Dorian, getting right over the Bahamas now. Please, folks, pray for these people on the Bahamas. The winds are 160 miles per hour. I'm not quite sure what the gusts are at the moment, but can you only imagine? It would not surprise me if they're getting close to 185 to 190. Who knows? It may be a little more in places, maybe a little less, but at least probably around 185 is a good guess right now. Now we have a check of the tracking map from the National Hurricane Center. Major Dorian down around the Bahamas right now. And if I'm remembering correctly, when I checked just a few days ago down around that area, one of the islands, Marsh Island, well, all of the Bahamas, but especially Marsh Island, looked like the center was going to be right over there. I'm going to check on that and let you know later, but the winds, there won't be anything left of that island. It'll just be there, what's left of it, and that's about it. Anyway, here we go. We got those hurricane warnings going on now down around the Bahamas. Also, you can see that we have a hurricane watch going on in the pink. We've got tropical storm warnings and watches. The blue is a warning as it gets a little closer over to the Florida coastline here. This is a tropical storm warning. This is a tropical storm watch. Now, the track right now has it coming on up, looking like it's going to stay offshore, but then we got this cone we have to contend with, you know, folks. We've really got to watch it close, moving on up, and then when it gets up to North Carolina, it actually looks the center a little bit closer to our coastline. So we'll have to watch that. Hopefully it'll go out to sea. It'll get a nudge and go out to sea a little further. As of right now, I think it may come down in strength. That's what it's looking like as it moves northward up from Florida, probably down around South Carolina, a Cat 2. Around North Carolina is looking like, at this time, a Cat 1. But if anybody in North Carolina wanted to compare what the coastal section's looking like, is probably going to get, now this could change. I mean, you know, we're still a ways away. Looking like for coastal North Carolina, probably at some point Thursday going into Friday, whatever we get, that will be that will be the time we will get the greatest of whatever, whether it's a little bit or whether it's a lot. Because the track, you know, can still change and deviate, go further out in the ocean, or come further inland in any of these places, as you know. If you wanted to compare so far as rain and maybe wind and things of that sort, compare it to Hurricane Irene that we went through. You know what happened to you with Irene? Well, you got a good idea. If it comes a little bit further inland, that's what it would be like. Right now, I'm not quite sure. We can't say it's going to be this or that. I don't mean it that way. I'm just giving you something to think about, okay? Because we've got to wait till it gets to Florida and then starts to move up and make that turn. But it is looking like at this point, Thursday, Friday will be the greatest chance for whatever we get, whether it's a little bit or a lot. And it's looking like here, right here, I would say for South Carolina and the Georgia areas, Wednesday and Thursday. You guys need to be ready, and everybody where this cone goes out needs to be prepared for whatever comes your way, because we all know at the last minute, they always seem to change a little. I'm not going to go into a lot of fancy this, that, pictures, charts, and try to explain a lot of stuff. This is what you need to know. I'll have more stuff later on today, I promise. But this is what you need to know. The eye wall of now catastrophic Category 5 Hurricane Dorian is about to hit the Abaco Islands with devastating winds, life-threatening storm surge, and very heavy rainfall, okay? Barometric pressure, you hear me talk about 28 something. My dad used to say, dig a hole and crawl in it. Would you look at that? 27.37 inches is the barometric pressure. And I did a little research. I could be wrong, but if I'm remembering correctly, when it comes to a Category 5 hurricane, only 4 Category 5s have hit the U.S. I could be wrong there. I mean, don't say you're wrong if I made a mistake, but I think that's correct. At Category 5 stage, only 4 have actually come inland. Now, for the watches and warnings, we need to pay attention to this, okay? The hurricane warning is in effect northwestern Bahamas, excluding Andros Island. Hurricane watch is for Andros Island, not a warning, a watch. Tropical storm warnings in effect north of Deerfield Beach to Sebastian Inlet. Tropical storm watch is in effect for north of Golden Beach to Deerfield Beach. Now, I want to make sure everybody knows a hurricane warning means that the hurricane conditions are expected somewhere within the warning area, and all of your preparations need to be rushed to completion. Now, a hurricane watch means that the hurricane conditions are possible in your area, and the tropical storm warning means that you can expect tropical storm conditions within 36 hours. That's the warning, and the watch is generally within 48 hours. Now, we already know it's really bad. It's over the Bahamas. I'm not going to read all this, but I do want to read this from the Air Force Hurricane Hunter plane. It's telling us now that penetrated eye, the plane which went through the eye, penetrated the eye of Dorian, indicated that the maximum sustained winds have increased to near 160 miles per hour with higher gusts. Now, this Category 5 hurricane, it's a Category 5 on the hurricane scale, of course. Now, some fluctuations in the intensity are likely, but Dorian is expected to remain a powerful hurricane during the next few days. Now, the hurricane force winds extend outward 30 miles from the center, and the tropical storm force winds extend out 105 miles. Elbow Cay and Abaco Island just reported winds of around 35 miles per hour. So it's getting right to get really bad. These poor people, it's just starting for them, folks. Just starting for them, okay? Now, what can they expect? The winds are expected very soon to really pick up and spread across the Grand Bahama Island later today. You know you got all these storms coming. Let's talk about the storm surge. Seems like it's going to be, Jesus bless their hearts, levels by as much of 10 to 20 feet above normal tidal levels in areas of onshore winds on the Abaco Islands and Grand Bahama Island near the coast. Now, the surge will be accompanied by large and destructive waves. Folks, I know about that. Not what they're going through to any extent. But with Florence, I had storm surge so powerful, it knocked my door to my house down. I had waves coming in the house. Can you only imagine what a 15 to 20 foot above normal tide level storm surge would do? Please keep these folks in your prayers, okay? Now, Dorian is expected to produce the following rainfall totals later this week. We all need to pay attention to this. Northwestern Bahamas, 12 to 24. Isolated, 30 inches of rain. Coastal Carolinas, 5 to 10. Isolated, 15. Central Bahamas and the Atlantic coast from the Florida Peninsula through Georgia, 2 to 4 inches with an isolated 6. I don't have to go into this. We're already having very high rip currents up and down my coast of North Carolina, and I'm sure that goes for South Carolina and Georgia as well. If you are at the beach and you are having good weather on this beautiful Labor Day weekend Sunday, please, before you go in the water, check and make sure about the rip currents in the area. Watch your flags. Ask the lifeguard. Make sure you're safe and never go out alone when we've got something like this going on. And once again, here is another tracking map. I like to bring this one up. You can see more plainly what's going on with it right now. And once again, if you are in eastern North Carolina, you might want to go ahead, now I've been saying this, and get things, you know, kind of put together. And what if the shift tracks more inland, what's going to happen? Or if the shift of the track goes outward, what would we do? Or if it stays the same? Now, the way it's looking right now, it's looking like, you know, eastern North Carolina will get some impact. Now, this can change. This can change. Something could happen down around Georgia and South Carolina. But looking right now at the most likely scenario, it's probably going to come up here. But just remember, it still can go in any of these areas. You know, if you live in any of these areas from Georgia to North Carolina. So you really need to keep up with what's going. And I would suggest, like for eastern North Carolina, where I live, what I'm thinking is you need to get everything done by Wednesday, because at some point on Thursday, probably going into Thursday night, you know how that goes, and early morning hours Friday, that's looking like right now when we're going to have our greatest winds and rain. So I would say by Wednesday afternoon, you need to have everything done that you want to do. This can change. It's not wrote in stone, so keep that in mind. Everybody stay safe. I love you guys so much. I'll have more coming up later today. I'm a little tired because I didn't get a lot of rest last night. But I'll do the best I can and stick by everybody. Please be safe. God bless you all. Thanks for everything you do. Peace, love, and kindness to all. Thanks for watching.